Hey everyone, last night we got a big stream for Shadowverse Worlds Beyond with some really good news. One or two things that I want to talk about that, I have to be honest, I'm a little disappointed about, but 90%, 95% of this is awesome. So we're going to get into it. This first part is going to be talking about the news that surrounds the game, like different things in the game. And then the other half will be card reviews, because they showed off a ton of new cards and there's a lot of interesting stuff to talk about with that. So this is going to be kind of a longer video, so I hope you guys stick around and let's get right into it. So the official website updated, so you can come here and check some of the news. They don't have all of it updated, but one of the cool things is now all the leaders are like animated, so you can click them and click their voice lines and stuff. So that's pretty cool. But let's get into the news. So first thing is, in the past, in Shadowverse, the first game, when you opened packs, you had a chance to get specific leaders from that set. So typically the way this would work is there would be a poll every year to vote on for characters that people wanted to be leaders. So when that happened, after the poll came out, throughout the year, they would distribute leaders into these sets, typically 2 to 3 leaders in each set, and you'd have to open packs for them to get them. For a very long time, it was completely random. There was no sort of pity system. I've had some very, very big horror stories, specifically trying to get the Alexio leader for Haven. So now it's a little bit different. I want to fully explain how this works from my understanding, because I think there are some people that are misunderstanding how this works. But so now you're going to be getting an exchange ticket that is going to be able to exchange for a leader or a card style / home screen background or a visage set, which is basically you can use that character in the world, in the overworld Shadowverse lobby thing. So one thing I think people are a little bit confused on is the fact that, so they showed 2 leaders, Albert and Daria. Very excited about the Daria one. The Daria one looks amazing. But one thing that is very hard to understand from just seeing this news and stuff is that it's not like you get a ticket and you can pick whatever you want. The way it's going to work, from my understanding again, at least, is that you're going to get a Daria ticket, and you're going to be able to get one of these 3 items. So it's not like you get a ticket, and then you can pick, hey, I want the Daria leader or the Albert card style and home screen. If you get the Albert ticket, you can only pick from these. If you get the Daria ticket, you only pick from these, right? It's not, I don't think it's universal. So that's something I think some people are a little bit confused on. We'll get to that in a second. My opinion of this is I want to see what the drop rates are for packs, from packs, because now that there's 3 items to get from an exchange ticket, I need the percentages, the chance to drop to be increased. Because if it's like, hey, because they say later on there's 4 of these exchange tickets in the first set, so that's going to be Albert, it's going to be Daria, and then the last 2, I believe, are going to be Orcus and... Well, that's not true, actually, because in the original trailer, they showed Orcus, Albert, Cerberus, and Lily. Or, sorry, not Lily. Feline. But now we have Daria and Albert, so Feline might be later. I bet Feline will be the next set. Some of those might also be the next set as well, so not 100% sure, but probably getting Cerberus and Orcus as the other 2. So that's basically... In the past, right, it would be 3 leaders, and once you hit the leader, you're good, right? You just get the leader and the sleeve and whatever else, right? Now there's basically 12 items to get, right? Because you can go, hey, I dropped an Albert ticket, right? So, okay, I'm going to go pick the leader up, right? Then I can get another Albert ticket when I really wanted the Daria leader, and go, well, I guess I can only get the card style and home screen now, because you can kind of see in the bottom right there, it says, after exchanging for all 3 sets of a specific character, their exchange ticket can no longer be drawn, and its draw rate will be distributed among the other exchange tickets. So obviously, so you can't duplicate. So once you get 3 Alberts, you're done. But like in the past, I mean, outside my friend who started recently hit like 6 liters in like the free packs he got. It was nuts. But unless you're him, you're not hitting 12 liters basically from the equivalent of the original game. So I'm a little bit worried about this. I need the rates to be really high, or we're gonna have an issue. So talking this out makes me a little more worried about it, because this wasn't even the thing I was talking about at the beginning that I'm a little worried about. But obviously this is like cosmetic stuff. But I mean, I don't know. I really want the Daria leader very badly, because Soji cooked. He cooked, man. Anyway, really awesome. So another interesting sort of rarity thing is there's going to be 3 in this set fully animated cards. There's video on the let me see if I can bring it up, because I have the Twitter up here. Yeah, here we go. I'm not going to turn the volume on because I don't want people's ears to blow out, because I don't know how loud it's going to be. But you can kind of see it's fully animated, kind of full art type thing. I like the Arya one. I do wish it was like alternate art, right? Because this is just like the base art, but it's like fully animated, full art type thing. But pretty cool. The thing I really like about this is you get 3 copies of it if you pull this. So this is another thing where you can drop it from the packs, like opening packs. I really like that you just get all 3 copies of it. So it's like, hey, I really want to build Forest, and you just drop like the fully animated Arya, you get the full playset. I think that's really cool. I really, really like that. So now buying card packs. So how does this all work? So when you buy a card pack, this does not include free packs, the daily free packs, which is kind of unfortunate. This does include card packs you're going to be able to get through promotions and stuff like that in events, but this does not include the daily free pack. But anyway, so you earn 1 card pack point for each card pack you purchase, including tickets, right? Including the tickets you're going to get from different events and stuff. You trade the card pack points for special rewards. So I'm going to explain this. Lucky chest. So when you hit 250 points, that means you've opened 250 packs, you're going to get an opportunity to open the lucky chest, which will randomly give you will randomly give you 1 of 4 exchange tickets or 1 of the 3 types of fully animated cards. So the first one is going to cost 250, and then everyone after that is going to cost 200. Do not do this. This is do not. Oh, I'll explain the next part of it, because you can get a guaranteed thing. Do not open the 251. This is a complete, you're going to get hosed, because like I just said, right? So say, man, I really want the Daria leader. Like me, I really want the Daria leader. I'm going to go into the lucky chest, and I have a chance, basically a 1 in 7 chance of hitting the Daria exchange ticket. And the worst part of it is, say I hit the Albert ticket early on, like going up to 250 points. If I hit the lucky chest, I get an Albert ticket. I don't want the background screen. What if I don't want the background screen or the alternate art, right? But if you save up 100 more points, you're going to be able to just choose an exchange ticket or fully animated card at 350 and then subsequently at 300. So 100% do that. I do not think it's worth it to do the lucky chest, unless you really do not care about anything. Personally, I will say, of the stuff they revealed, I don't really care for any of the fully animated cards. And the only leader I really want is Daria that they've revealed so far. We don't know if we're getting Cerberus or Orcus or whatever. So, for me, I would just go, I'm just saving up for Daria, boom, and then the rest I can do lucky chest. If I ever hit, what, 600 packs of this first set open again? Like, that's a lot. Unless we're about to open, cases and cases and cases of packs. I don't think we're hitting we save up for 350 and then we're also hitting the lucky chest. So I don't know. I'm not too sure about this whole system. I really need the rates to be high for these leaders and stuff, is what I'm going to say. I think that's all I'm going to say about that, but we'll have to see. I didn't want to start the video on like a down note, but it is talking it through more. I'm a little worried. But let's get on to some more stuff. The Battle Pass. The Battle Pass is returning. In the previous game, it was, I think they released it like halfway through the game's lifespan. And you're going to get a leader, and you're going to get typically, I think in this one, you're only going to get one alt art of a card, but typically you get 2 to 3 alt arts of cards that are typically pretty good. This one, Ignominious Samurai, we don't know what this does, but it's a 2-1. If I were to guess, I think it's like Kukulin, where it's a 2-mana, 2-1 rush. That'd be interesting. But you level up your Battle Pass by doing missions and stuff. They also did specifically say that the missions are going to be based on doing things in the game and not winning, because that was an issue that a lot of casual players had, was you had to win for a lot of these missions. And so, yeah, I like that they're making the Battle Pass just, easier to complete. You are going to have a free pass, that's the normal pass, and the premium pass is typically where you're going to get the leader and stuff. So, pretty cool. I like to see more missions and stuff, more things to do in the game. Now, a really fun thing, I really like this, is creating premium cards and supplies. So in the old game, if you are from Hearthstone or know a little bit about Hearthstone, there were gold cards, right? And you would just craft the gold cards. This is I played Hearthstone a decade ago, so this might have changed, so correct me if I'm wrong, but and you could craft a gold card by just spending double the amount of what was it called? Dust. You just double the amount of dust, right? In Shadowverse, the original game, the way to do that was use these items called seer globes. That's the thing in the middle. And you could get them from promotions or tournaments and stuff. I ended up getting a ton of them just because you got a lot from tournaments and doing things like that. And you could craft them by getting seer globe shards, which were like items you could get from like the Battle Pass and missions and stuff, right? The issue with Seer's Globes were it was just every card you had to use a Seer Globe on. So like, hey, I love Valse, I love Valse. I really want him to be gold because I got super screwed and never pulled a gold or a premium version or whatever, right? Animated version. I'd have to use the Seer's Globe that can do a legendary, right? That's technically worth more on the silver, right? So the cool thing is there's now an apprentice globe, which creates premium gold, silver, and bronze cards. Really love that. I love that. I hope they just give these out in abundance. I want every bronze and silver and gold to be shiny. Like, I would love that. So now we have another really cool thing that's added completely new, Seer's Gems, which used to create premium sleeves and emblems. Really, really interested in that. I loved some of the old sleeves from the old game, being able to represent your favorite character while you're not playing maybe the deck that character or card is in, or after it rotated. I remember one of my favorite sleeves that I never actually ended up getting was the Caribou sleeves. Very funny story. There was a tournament that basically like reran some of the old sleeves, where if you win this tournament, you get the sleeves. And I got to I think I got to the grand finals. I completely messed up because it was a European tournament and it was 3 a.m. and I completely made a bunch of misplays. But, close, but never got it. But really cool to imagine, like, hey, these are my favorite sleeves ever. I'm going to make them shiny. Same with emblems, right? So I love that. Love that. Really cool. Really love the customizable aspect to this new game. Next thing is ranked matches. This is very similar to the old game, but there is a new addition. Ranked matches, there's going to be what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ranks. Once you hit master, you go to your own like separate ranking ladder thing. So beginner through master is very much just like, I don't want to call it a race because you're not racing against anyone, right? But you can't ever really go down. It's just like, hey, a grind. That's what I'd call it. Maybe grind kind of has a negative, connotation, but you're just playing, and as you get better at the game, you're going to go up ranks faster, right? If you're good at the game, you're going to go faster. And then once you hit master, that's sort of the real ladder. If that makes sense, because every time the rank resets, once you hit master, you just go back down to 0 points on master, and master is going to have its own thing. Interesting thing here is grandmaster rank will be added at a later date, so I assume that means they don't think you're going to be getting to master all the way up to grandmaster like before, I assume, like the next set comes out. So that's pretty interesting. And then the other interesting thing is there's a ranked match groups now. So you're going to have your rank that I just showed you. And then you're going to have your group now that is determined by like how, I guess, good you are at the game or how good they think you are. It says determined by your win rate in recent ranked matches. So if you're just like on a tear, you're going to be in the diamond group. So if you are in, say, the A rank, right? So you're in A rank, but the game determined that you're better than most A rank players. You're going to be in the diamond group, so they're going to try to put you with diamond A rank players. I really, really like this system because in the beginning of the game, there's going to be a total mix of brand new players that are just getting the grasp of the game, and not only are they having to learn new cards like every other person, but they also have to learn the intricacies of Shadowverse. But people like, veterans like me, we're going to have to learn the new cards. Like, that's going to be a whole aspect, but we're already going to have sort of the main gameplay down. So we are going to have that slight little advantage towards the brand new players. And I really like that we're able to separate, hey, these are like sort of the people that have got the game down, or at least the basics of the game down from the previous game. But, we're all still learning the game and learning the cards and learning, everything, the meta. They're going to be able to put you in the diamond rank and go, or diamond group, and go, hey, I know you're A rank and this other guy's A rank, but we're going to put you two together because we think that, like, you're in a different group than the A rank can really, like, determine. So, really love that. I'm sure, I guess this will just last forever, but I think this is mostly for this beginning, I would say, month period where people are just going to be grinding to get to master rank. So, really like this. Next is a couple events. So, the Rupees Galore event. We've had this a ton of times in the original game. Basically, the way this is going to work is you're going to play a game every day, and then you're going to get like a stamp. And then you'll get a reward after everything's done. You have a chance to get legendaries, probably mostly just rupees or gold. But you have a chance to win 2.5 million gold or rupees, which probably just sets you up for life in this game, But yeah, pretty cool. Like these events. Next is a quick little thing. You can link your Cygames ID now, and you're going to get some pack tickets, and you're going to be able to purchase crystals at a bargain, whatever that means. And then I think you're going to be able to get like the Dryzen little chibi model for free. So that's pretty cool. I like this more than like the old account linking. So that's pretty good. I think this is the last. No, yeah, this is the last news until we get into like some tournament stuff. First Pharaoh mission. So this is like, when you start the game. You clear all of the first Pharaoh missions, and you get to choose a deck of your choice. So there's what is this? 8? Wait, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. You'd think I'd be good at basic math, But anyway, so there's 9 decks to choose from. 2 classes have 2 decks each. And you can kind of see the Dragon Abyss and Portal one, the first Portal one, are look or have the legendary from those pre-constructed decks for the play tests. If we are able to get a full playset of legendaries That would be so awesome. I'm not expecting it. I don't think we really should expect it. But if we're able to go, hey, I want the sword. I want Albert. I want to play sword, and you just get a full playset of Albert, 3 of them. That would be so awesome. I really hope they do that. And yeah, that would really help. A couple things to note here is so we have Pharaoh, we have Forest, we have Sword, we have 2 rune decks. So we're going to be talking about Kuon and Spell Boost in a second. But if you'll notice, the other one is Anne and Greya, who are some of my favorite characters from this franchise, from this company. I'm really happy they're in. But the interesting thing is, unless they make them Earthright, I think we're going to be missing out on Earthright for the first little bit of the game. On the official website, there is a keyword for it, and it explains what Earthright is. But if the 2 basically subclasses of Rune is going to be Spell Boost and then Mysteria, which I assume, unless, again, they make Anne and Greya Earthright, which would be very bizarre. We're going to be missing out on Earthright for a little bit. This does show, like, it seems like every class outside of Rune and Portal is going to have one archetype that it fits into. And we'll talk about Force in a little bit here, too. But that's just kind of the issue with having a small set. I say small, it's like 150 cards at the beginning. But we are getting the second set very, very soon, in basically a month after the game releases. So look out for that. Obviously, we don't have a deck list for any of these, but we will be talking about the new cards and the full set soon. I will be talking about that in a second, when that's going to come out. And I am going to try to do my very best to get a video up as fast as possible to talk about which would be the best deck for you to choose. Because I'm sure there's going to be some that are very worth it, especially if you get a full playset of these legendaries. So anyway, really cool. Next thing is invite friends. You can... there's going to be a friend code that you have, and you can send your friend code out, and the person gets rupees, and the friend that you invited gets rupees. I'm going to, of course, post my own friend code when we get into the game and stuff, so if you are a new player, or whatever, and you want to use the friend code and stuff, get some extra rupees, definitely that would be pretty cool. I love Anne and Greya here. I'm very excited if we do get the full Mysteria sub. I just call them like subclass. Very cool. Those are some of my favorite rune decks. Next, we're going to be talking about tournaments for a second. For a little bit, not in a second. So this is the main big World Grand Prix 100 million yen prize. That's, what, 700,000 US dollars? So that's, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So how this is going to work is it's going to take place in December, late December. It's going to be in Japan. And then you qualify through a bunch of these different tournaments around the world. So World Grand Prix 2025 contenders. Day 1 features 30 contenders. I believe that's lower than normal. So you see there's like 4 from each of these different things across the world, and then 7 people who qualified from the first game. Shadowverse Online Championship, we're going to be talking about that in a second, is a worldwide thing. Shadowverse Extra Championship is in Japan only. Shadowverse Open, which is going to be relevant to probably most people watching this channel, unless you're from Japan watching an English video, which would be pretty cool, because it's Americas, Europe, Southeast Asia, and Oceania. And then you're going to have the Korea Open, which is for South Korea. You're going to have Rage Shadowverse Japan Championship, which is worldwide, but it's an in-person tournament in Japan. So you could technically go all the way over there to play in this. Rage is typically the most like high production tournaments for Shadowverse. Very, very cool, very fun watches. We will definitely be like live streaming some of those tournaments and all of these tournaments if it's possible to watch all of them. For sure, this is going to be a main focus of the channel, is the competitive aspect. And then you're going to have the Rage Shadowverse Pro League, the Shadowverse Taiwan Open, and then the Chinese Shadowverse NetEase Championship. So that's for China. So Let's get into a couple of these things. So we already talked about that. Oh no, sorry. This is the last chance qualifier. Again, if you go to Japan, you can just enter this last chance qualifier to get a chance to play in the world. I almost called it the World Series, the World Championship. Before it happens, which is pretty cool. I love these type of like last chance things. It's going to be a big tournament. Yeah, pretty cool. Wait, I thought there was more. Okay, I missed a couple things I want to talk about tournament wise. Let me find them on the Twitter here. I thought I opened every image, but I guess I did not. Let's see, where is this? No. Oh yeah, here we go. So this is the Shadowverse Online Championship. Is this showing up? Yeah, this is pretty good. So the online championship is a completely worldwide online tournament. That's the first we've ever had in this game that's like open. So this means, you're gonna be playing people from Japan, China, I assume. China's weird because it's like its own thing, its own publisher and stuff. So, Taiwan, all that stuff. And there's going to be two of these. There's going to be August and November. I'm super excited for these. I think this is so cool. A completely worldwide tournament where you can really test your mettle against the world, Very, very cool. I know there's a lot of people that care about, like, which region is the best. I never get into that because it's very hard to compare regions. But if you think your region is the greatest of all time, go win this thing, And then where's the Shadowverse Open? Where is this? There it is, Shadowverse Open. So Shadowverse Open is what's going to be relevant for us. I do see that this is cut off. Let me open this here. Yeah, sure. Okay, that's good enough. Kickoff. So Shadowverse Open used to be a monthly tournament for, it used to be separated into three things. It was America, Europe, and Southeast Asia, Oceania. It then got combined into America and Europe was West, and then East or Southeast Asia, Oceania was its own separate thing. And it used to be monthly, and it used to have really big money prizes. $4,000 to top 8 every month, and if you won, you got $1,000. You also got some bonuses for like doing webcam and stuff like that. Very fun, very cool. That's kind of what got me into the game in the first place. Was of course this back in the day it was $1 million tournament. But also like, hey, you can play this very competitively and every month play in this $4,000 tournament for free. You don't have to pay to enter. Very cool. Loved that. It seems like they're changing it a little bit. So kickoff, whatever that means, is July 26th and 7th, or July 26th and 27th, and August 2nd and 3rd. I believe this is just going to be some sort of like intro, like, hey, first big Shadowverse Open tournament. And then there's going to be a qualifier series from August to September. I assume that's going to be, 2 months, I guess. Grand Finals, which is going to be in Singapore. Very interesting to have a Grand Finals in person in Singapore for this Shadowverse Open thing. And then Last Chance Qualifier is going to be online November 15, 16, 22, and 23. So it seems like, I don't know if we're going to be first or second, we being America and Europe, but there's 2 separate dates, July 26th and 7th, and then August 2 and 3, 2nd and 3rd. Obviously, I'm very excited about it. We're going to be talking about this. We're going to be, I'm going to try to help you guys do really well in these tournaments because these are going to be the bread and butter for us. And yeah, very excited. And then on the right here, on my face is kind of covering it, but the champion of this whole thing of the Grand Finals will qualify for World Grand Prix. Oh, sorry. Okay. Oh, okay. Hold on. So, okay, this is really interesting. Okay, I did not process this. So, the kickoff tournament, if you win that, that snap was terrible. You're qualified for Worlds. Easy. That's really cool. Okay, that's really interesting. The qualifier series into the grand finals, the top 2 players will qualify for World Grand Prix, and then the last chance qualifier, the champion will qualify for World Grand Prix. That's really awesome, actually. I did not process that. So this first kickoff tournament is going to be huge. If you win this, you're just automatically in for the World Grand Prix. You don't really have to do anything else the rest of the year. That's very cool. That's actually very exciting. Okay, we got that. So pretty much it for the tournaments. Oh, no, there is one thing. So this is the thing I mentioned at the beginning that I'm very down on. I have not seen a single opinion that is good about this. I don't think anyone thinks this is good. So in the past, the way tournaments worked out here for America and Southeast Asia and Europe was 3 decks. So you'd pick 3 decks to bring that you'd register. And when you faced your opponent, you would seize their 3 decks and you'd be able to ban one of their decks. And then you would have to win 2 games in this, like when you get paired up to an opponent. And we call this 3 deck 1 ban. I really liked this system because it gave, it sort of maneuvered around, hey, this meta is like really bad right now, say, but you have to pick 3 decks. So say there's like 1 tier 0 deck, right? You are forced to pick 3 decks and you get the choice to ban 1. So the first time I ever, not to, ride my dinosaur into the video, but the first time I ever top 8 was Rebirth of Glory, the post-nerf. And the best decks were like Blood, there was 2 types of Blood, and then Elena Haven, which was like this heal deck, and Mech Rune, which was this burn deck. And my strategy was I had Mech Rune and Elena just because they were like easy, good decks. And then I had this very cool Blood deck built that never lost to Elena. So the strategy was I would ban Mech Rune, and I would go, hey, I'm always beating Elena, like no matter what. This is just an auto win. And then whatever my second deck was, I would just need to feel comfortable enough to win 1 of those 2 games. And I really love that format. I think it's very strategic. The format in Japan was 2 deck 0 ban. So what this meant was you brought 2 decks and you had to win with both of those decks. So if you win with one of the decks, you can't use that deck anymore. That's also how the 3 deck 1 ban format worked. So I think that had less strategy. That was more dependent on the meta, because theoretically you could go, hey, let's just throw out Sword is the best deck in the game, right? Let's just say Sword is the best deck in the game. I'm gonna play 2 decks that auto beat Sword, so that since you always have to win with both of your decks, if they cannot win with Sword, I win the game, or I win the match, right? That was very fun. That was very cool in theory, but very rarely did Shadowverse formats have that much flexibility where it was like best deck and 2 decks that beat it. Like, that was very rare. But now we have this really weird format where it's you bring 2 decks, so similar to the Japanese format, but you're only going to select 1 deck to play. So I assume you're going to be able to see the deck list, or at least see what classes they're bringing. You're going to choose your deck, they choose their deck, and then it's just best of 1. Whoever wins that game wins that round. I really hate this. I hate best of 1. That's my biggest issue with the 2 card games I currently play competitively, One Piece and Shadowverse Evolve, which is the physical version, is the games just aren't... They have good core design, but the meta and the card design does not facilitate best of 1 because it's too random, and we'll talk about when we get to some of the card reveals. I know it's like we're very far into the video and we haven't even got to card reveals, but when you have card design that Shadowverse Evolve and One Piece have, you can just get unlucky and you have no chance, you have no there was no control of you winning or losing that game. And that's where a second game or best of 3 comes in, because it obviously you can still get unlucky twice, but it's harder to get unlucky twice than it is to get unlucky once, right? So we'll see. I literally have not seen a single positive opinion about this. I think this is something they will end up changing. One reason they could have changed this is so we saw the now I have 20 gajillion tabs open, and I cannot find where was the Shadowverse open. Sorry, not Shadowverse open. The Shadowverse like worldwide thing is, since that's going to be worldwide, there's going to be a lot of people, and they probably don't want a like 2 to 3 day tournament, which I think would be cool. I think a 2 to 3 day tournament would be cool. But they're probably expecting like a 14 to 15 round tournament, if they're expecting 2 to 3, 4, maybe even 4,000 people signing up for this tournament, right? And, you know, you want to just get them in and out fast, best of 1. I get that. And maybe if they go, hey, we're just going to do that for this worldwide tournament, I would be more okay with. But the fact that this is, I know they say mainly, so there could be, you know, different changes and stuff, mainly be played in the best of 1 2-deck match format, I really don't like. I think there's going to be heavy backlash from the competitive community, and I would hope that this gets changed. I'm not going to expect anything, but I hope it gets changed. So that's all I have to say about that. From here on out in the video, I don't think there's going to be a single negative thing said. I'm fully pumped for almost every other slide we're going to be talking about. But we're going to get to card reveals in a second. So, card compendium. This is just like your collection. I love the look of this. There's another screenshot of this somewhere, but that makes it look better from the stream. But I flipped through the stream and I could not find where they actually showed this in game. But we can see a couple interesting cards that have not been revealed. Namely, we see all the neutral cards. So my prediction of Gabriel and Zeus being in the first set are wrong, because we only see 2 legendaries, Olivia and Cocytus. But we see a couple other neutrals. There are going to be basic cards, because my immediate thing was, whoa, there's no Goblin. Goblin, of course, is the iconic just 1 play point, 1/2, no text, you know, vanilla. But I assume that's going to be in the basic set. And then we see a couple forest cards. There's a couple returning characters, Lily and Aaron. If you guys have played Granblue, you'll know them. And Fairy Beast as well, and a couple other cool things. So yeah, very cool. Next thing is some alt arts that I forgot how you get these. How did they say you get these? I think you get these by connecting your old game, maybe? I'm sorry, I forgot how you get these. Did they explain? Sorry, let's see. Did they explain this anywhere? Obviously, there's a couple new cards here. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you just get them for completing the compendium or progressing through the compendium. So this is very cool. We're going to talk about Roach in a second, but you get the old art of Roach, which is really cool. I love that. I hope they do that more. I hope they give us some old classic art. And then Serene Sanctuary, same thing. And the last thing before we get to card reveals is we're going to be getting the official website. That's up already. And then June 16th, mark the date, mark the time, 3 a.m. 3 a.m. That's rough for me. June 16th, 3 a.m. PST. The deck portal is going live. That's going to have every card that's going to be in the game at the beginning. We are going to be doing... If you thought this video was long, wait for June 16th. You know, we are going to be doing card reviews. We're going to be giving my impressions and my review. You know, not having played a single second of this game, so I can't wait for them to be, you know, in a month like, wow, this guy Julian was an idiot. He said whatever was bad. He said Lily was bad and it's broken, or whatever, you know. Very excited. I love the first impressions. I love that kind of stuff. And we're going to be doing some deck builds as well. I really want to get some budget decks out first thing before the game releases, and also some ways to upgrade these budget decks I'm going to show you guys. Obviously, some of us are not going to be lucky enough to pull a bunch of legendaries and some of the good legendaries, and we're going to need to, scratch together some bronzes and silvers to make a playable deck, and I really want to do that. That's going to be my first goal after we do the card review. But very excited. And then basically 15 hours later, the game comes out, because the game is going to release. Do I have that screenshot? Do I have that screenshot? I do not have that screenshot. I have 50,000 tabs open, and none of them are the screenshot I needed. But it's going up 8 p.m. PST, June 16th. The game, I mean. The portal is going up June. Oh, I did. See, I knew I thought this through. So 8 p.m. PST, June 16th. Preload starts 2 days before. Very cool. All right, card reviews. Finally, card discussion. So first we're gonna get the forest card. So Arya, Lady of the Woods. Arya, of course, if you watch my forest video, you'll know she's kind of an iconic forest character. Iconic Rage of Bahamut character, I should say. Oh my gosh, please give us the OG art if you could do the alt art like stuff that they're doing with Roach and stuff. I would love that. But anyway, like this art too. Nothing against this art, but it's not Mushibar. I mean, he's one of the greatest of all time. So, fanfare, gain Crest, Arya, Lady of the Wood. So Crests, of course, are the evolution of leader abilities from the original game. You can have 5 crests at a time. I hope we never hit 5. I hope we never hit 5 leader abilities. That would kind of scare me. But the crest is going to be whenever an allied pixie follower enters the field, give it Storm. So very, and then it can super evolve and summon 3 fairies, which we'll talk about in a second, but those are pixies. And it's very a combination of like a bunch of the Aryas. So we had like the dark version of Arya, who was like give them rush and deal 1 damage. And then we have all the other Aryas that like summon a bunch of fairies and stuff like that. So it's going to be very, if you are building a fairy deck, she's going to be easy peasy throw in if you have her, right? She is one of the animated cards, right? So if she becomes good, you can do the exchange like I was talking about, and you just get 3 copies. So I really like that. Let's talk about fairies for a second, though. Fairies are tokens, and they're the same as the original game, except for one very important thing. So 1-drop 1/1s with rush. So that means they can attack followers on the turn they're played. They are pixie traits as well. Very interesting change, because one of the most important things in Forest was the fact that you had all these cards where it's like, hey, I want to play a bunch of cards before I play this card, right? And the issue was your board would get locked up because you only have 5 spaces, like I talked about in those class introduction videos. If you want to check out, if you're interested in any of these Forest cards, check out that Forest video I did, because it'll break down how the class plays and stuff. But like, hey, I have 2 things on the board. I have a card that I need to play 4 things before it does an effect. And I have no spells in my hand, right? Because spells do count towards this like combo count. But obviously they don't take up a space on the board. So I'm kind of in a bind here. Now that they have Rush, you can go play it, rush into something, and you're not only getting like the damage, but you're also clearing a board space for your future combo stuff on the turn. I really like this change. I think this is a very awesome change. Very streamlines Forest, but also makes it that like 1 tick higher of I don't want to say difficulty, but depth, I should say. Depth. So next card. Killer Rhinoceros. Roach, of course, is the most iconic Forest card of all time. He was a 2-drop 1/1. Gives this follow plus X attack. X is the amount of cards you've played before this card. With Storm. If you want to see more of that, like I said, check out that Forest video. The Killer Rhinoceros, the Killer Angels. It's 3-drop now. Which I think is a very significant change. I think that's a very significant nerf. And it's a 0/2 now, but it counts itself. So it's always going to come down and be a 3-drop 1/2. Combo, of course, is the traitified, trait name for amount of cards you've played. And now combo counts the card itself. So it works like Shadowverse Evolve, because that was a new thing in Shadowverse Evolve, and the cards always counted itself. So, Killer Rhinoceros, 3-drop 0/2, give this follow +X, +0, X is your combo, Storm. The old Roaches, of course, you'd want to set up your hand so you can just go dump a bunch of cards out and then go Roach, 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 kill your opponent, right? 21 damage. You're not, I shouldn't say this, I should knock on wood. You're probably not going to be able to do it like that, but I love this card as a mid-game damage push instead of the OTK sort of, cringe, like, uninteractable, just OTK finisher, right? I like the idea of this guy going, hey, I'm on turn 6. I got maybe a couple 0-cost cards in hand. I got a couple 1-cost cards in hand. I'm just going to go push 6 damage face. And the cool thing about this is that the old Roach lost the attack when you pass the turn. This is going to keep the attack. So if you go play a bunch of things, Roach Super Evolve, you're going to be doing, 10 damage maybe? 8, 9 damage? And it's going to be a 9/5 that's on the field. So I love this change of making it like, hey, we're not, again, knock on wood, hopefully, we're not gonna make it so that it's just, hey, OTK, but we're gonna try our best to make it as similar to the original game as possible. But we want to play it in this sort of more mid-range, late game finisher, not OTK. So I really like that. Force is looking pretty good of the 2 cards we've seen. Next card is Albert 11 Storm Saber. 5 mana, 3/5, 5 play points. If I say mana and play points, it's the same thing. I'm just, like I said, sort of Hearthstone brained, even though I played this game for way longer than Hearthstone. 5-drop 3/5, Storm. And then Enhance 9, deal 3 damage to all enemy followers. Give this follower can attack 2 times per turn. So, obviously, very similar to the original Albert. If you want to, again, got a plug. If you want to see the original Albert, check out my Sword introduction video. Almost exactly the same, but the Enhance is a little different, because now instead of you can't take damage, is it on this turn? Yeah, you can't take damage on this turn. It's going to be doing 3 AoE. I'm going to be honest, I don't think this card is very strong. If we see a Sword aggro deck, then obviously we're throwing this in easy peasy. It says Storm. But the Enhanced 9 is not amazing. Just because, like, by turn 9, I think you're going to be having used all of your Super Evolves already. And, only, like, coming down and doing 6 damage because it attacks twice and it's a 3/5 is not that good. 3 damage AoE is also, like, not that good from what we've seen. Like, Puppet is putting out a board with, like, a 1/6 ward. And probably good in the mirror match because it kills Amalia board. But so how does that work? So you play Amalia and then you pass. Albert comes down, clears the wards, and then you swing into, you go like 3 faces and swing into Amalia. That's not that bad unless they pre-evolved Amalia, then you probably just lose. But, things like that are interesting. It's probably just going to be played. It'll probably be played because the card pool is so low that this is just the highest quality card that we have access to in the 5-drop slot. So, probably going to be good for a little bit. I would say, like, red flag on, like, if this is going to be worth investing in. This card is going to be worth investing in. So, Next card, Forte, Blackwing Dragoon. Just 6-drop, 5/2, Storm Intimidate. Very similar to Forte of old. I will be working on the Dragon video here soon. That will be up soon. I'm going to have all of the classes up before the game releases. But this is very similar to the original version. I'm skeptical of this card. Because the power level that we've seen... How did I explain? I think it's almost near like Omens of the 10, maybe a little bit before. Maybe a Dawnbreak Night Edge. Power level. Maybe Brigade of the Sky power level. I think that's actually the perfect example. And Forte's not good at that, in that power level, because she just dies to hard removal. She is going to be one of those cards that's like, if you are not a hard removal deck, see ya. Because you drop Forte Super Evolve, 8 face, that's it. If you cannot kill this thing, you're dead, basically. Because if they drop another Storm thing, stuff like that. Obviously, Dragon is the ramp class. You're going to be able to get this out faster. But we do see most decks have either removal or hard removal. So, I don't know. I think this is going to be interesting if there's an aggro dragon deck. If there's a dragon deck. Dragon's looking a little weak to me. I know that's kind of against the popular opinion. But we'll see how this works. Very basic, though. Very basic. Next card is a portal card, Yudi. This is the mascot of the game. Maiden Reborn. 3-drop, 3/3 on play or fanfare draw card. Okay, that's very good. Fully statted 3-drop that draws a card. Very good. Especially for the class that, in my opinion, has some of the best cards right now. Evolve, gain crest, Yudi, Maiden Reborn. This crest has a countdown, so that means after 3 turns, because this is countdown 3, it's going to go away. At the end of your turn, if you have 5 or less cards in your hand, draw a card. If you have at least 6, restore 1 defense to your leader. A lot of card draw for very little cost. Very, very little cost. Fully statted 3-drop in the class that has the highest card quality, in my opinion. I see you. I see you. They're definitely trying to push the main character class. The main character class is not Dragon anymore. It is Portal. I think this card is absurd. I think this card is very, very strong. Just being a 3-drop 3/3 that draws a card is very good in this low power level. The crest is interesting. I do think they designed the crest really well. Because if you think about it, you go first. Or like, you have to basically play a card every turn before you evolve to get the draw card effect, because you always want the draw card effect. That's just what you want. If you are able to get this card to draw you 4 cards, this is the best card in the game. And I don't think that's going to be that hard to do. So, yeah. This is also the type of card I would have loved to see on a lower rarity card. Because I love the idea of putting high, unique power level cards and unique effect cards on high rarity, and then the low rarity gold, silver, bronzes is where you have the consistency tools and the engines, right? This is obviously an engine card, and yeah, it's gonna be how many of our vials? It's gonna cost a lot. So very, 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 very strong card. Talking about interesting cards, Dimension Climb. I love the design of this card. I think this is so good. This makes me so confident in like not Yudi, but what was the card I was gassing up? The Roach. I think the Roach and Dimension Climb are 2 like card designs. I'm like, okay, I'm putting my trust in Shadowverse right now. I'm putting my trust in Side Games. So Dimension Climb, if you saw my room video, you'll know what Dimension Shift is. You'll know who Daria is. We're basically combining them. Obviously, Daria was on Dimension Shift. That was the character on the card. But Spell Boost, 18 cost Spell Boost. Reduce the cost of this card by 1. So, of course, Spell Boost is whenever you play a spell. It does the Spell Boost effect, so this is going to reduce by 1. When you play this, return your hand to your deck. Draw 5 cards. Spell Boost your hand 5 times. So this is like the original Daria. And then fully recover your play points. So it's like D-Shift, where you kind of get an extra turn, but they removed the sort of toxic part of that, where it basically makes everything be able to attack, right? Because if you gain an extra turn, anything you played can attack, because it got played last turn. I love this card design. I think this is very cool. I think it's really good, too. So one interesting thing that they noted is, if you have cards that are spell boosted in your hand, so say you have another Dimension Climb, right? So say you have like a Dimension Climb at like 4 cost, right? And then you have a 7 cost Dimension Climb. If you're going to put your hand back into your deck, and if you draw that 7 cost Dimension Climb, that's going to stay at 7 cost. Obviously, it's going to be spell boosted 5 times, but anytime you return cards to your deck, it's going to keep the statuses and the abilities of the card that was in your hand. I think that's so amazing. Such a good change. I think this is a really cool card. Another thing is in the video they show. I'll show the video after I show the next card. But it kind of shows that in the past, Spell Boost decks were very much built around, you know, playing a bunch of 0-cost cards, and, you know, the joke was like, oh, Zelda Truth, 9 cost, 3/5 Storm. Oh, that's a 0 cost. 0 cost, 3/5 Storm. Great. You know, very balanced. My idea, and what I think is going to happen, is we're only going to have a couple of cards that go to 0, but we're going to have a lot of cards that do effects depending on how much it's spell boost. So you're going to be able to combine, like your, you know, say you have like I think I saw a 6-drop that looked like it got spell boost. You're going to have that 6-drop. I have no idea what it does. And then you're going to go Dimension Climb, or like play something, Dimension Climb, draw cards, refill your play points, and then play another 6-drop. So it's not going to be you dump your hand, refill, dump your hand again. It's going to be, hey, this is a 6-cost card that technically like doesn't cost 0 because I replayed my play points, or I recovered my play points. But it's going to be less toxic and less sort of high rolly. I'm very excited about this class. I wasn't excited about Rune. I'm going to be honest. I wasn't that excited about Rune. But now I am. I'm locked into Rune. Daria, Soji Hisakata. I've been gassing him up all the time. I mean, this is just one of the greatest artists of all time. I'm glad he's still on the team. It's very cool to see him sort of return to this sort of old art style that he had. I love the art. But anyway, next card, Kuon, Fivefold Master. Fanfare, summon a Celestial Shigami, Demonic Shigami, Paper Shigami. Enhance 10, destroy all allied Shigami followers. Summon a Noble Shigami. Super Evolve, select an allied Shigami follower on the field, and give it Storm. I'm going to show the tokens. Celestial Shigami, Ward, Last Word, spell boost your hand 3 times. Demonic Shigami, Rush, Last Words, spell boost your hand once. Paper Shigami, Rush, Last Words, spell boost your hand once. Noble Shigami, 10-drop, 1/1. Whenever this follower enters the field, give it plus X plus Y. Wait, what? Oh yeah, plus X plus Y. X and Y is the total base attack and defense of all allied Shigami followers destroyed this turn. My bad. So the Kuon is the one who blows everything up. So basically the way this is going to work is you play this on 10, summon your guys, blow the field up. Your Noble Shigami is going to be 10/10 because that's the exact combination of all of the stats here. You're going to spell boost your hand 5 times, basically, because you're going to get 3 from this, 1 from this, and 1 from this. And then he's going to be a 10/10 Ward Aura. And then if you Super Evolve the Kuon, he's going to give your big 10-drop Storm, and you're going to be able to swing. On the video, which I'll show in a second, you can play a second one if you go Dimension Climb, right? So you go play this Dimension Climb, play another one, and then it's an 18 or whatever, and then you Evo and swing 18. I'll take things that'll never happen for 1,000. I don't know. I don't know. Kuon is interesting. I think the thing about Kuon, the Enhanced 10, I'd be shocked if it ever happens. Sorry. I think the Enhanced 10 will happen. If you get to Enhanced 10 and have a Super Evolve point, you're just the GOAT. You're him. But I do like the 7-drop Kuon. I also really like it, like we were talking about Dimension Climb, right? Kuon used to be that type of card that went to 0. If you spell boost, but with Dimension Climb, right, you can go, hey, Kuon, play this, build a board, Dimension Climb, and now I have 7 play points back, and I can do other things as well, play more spells out of my hand, depending on what I draw. I really like that. I think this is just, it's a big board, you know, you 3, 3, 4, 5, 3, 3, and a 2/1, and I don't know. I think Kuon's pretty. I don't think Kuon's that good. I think Dimension Climb is very strong. And I'm sure just because, like I said about Albert, you're just not going to have enough cards, or the card amount of cards that are in the game is just so low that you're going to have to play these cards, right? But I don't know. Kuon's interesting. I'll leave Kuon up to, the Kuon players. I will try Dimension Climb though. I'm really excited about Dimension Climb. Next card, Medusa. Medusa's in the game. I love Medusa. She's a very iconic Rage Bahamut side games character. She's in everything. And she got a really, really busted card. This card is very strong. So let's keep track. I said Olivia's the best card in the game. Amalia is the best class card in the game. I think this might overtake Amalia. Medusa Venom Fang Royalty, 7-drop, 3/7. Another brand new Soji Hisakata art. Amazing, amazing. Rush can attack 3 times per turn. Follower Strike, this means if you swing into a follower, you destroy that follower, and that happens before basically combat. So if they have Bane, can't kill Medusa. If they're if they have 3 super evolved things, if they played the Olivia 2-drop combo, they have a huge board. Medusa comes down, clear the board. Now, obviously, we've seen board clears. Board clears, fine, right? Crazy thing about this card is that it keeps the can attack 3 times per turn. So your opponent somehow does not kill this thing. They just explode next turn. Because you go evolve or super evolve, and you play Cerberus that we saw before, or any card that gives something plus attack if Shadow ends up Abyss ends up having access to that. And you just swing for, a little 21 damage, right? 7 3 times. This card is broken. I think this card is very, very strong. Like I said, Olivia's best card in the game, period. That we've seen. Medusa, I think, is the best class card so far. I think Medusa is definitely the best class card. And we already saw, in my opinion, I think Abyss was really strong, that pre-constructed deck, with the Cerberus, with some of the other tools it has access to. I don't know, man. A perfect curve into the Cerberus as well. Yeah, I don't know. This card's insane. This card just does everything. This card does everything. So, probably going to be number 1 on the to craft cards, So, couple last cards. John, we saw this card. We just didn't know exactly what it did. 8-drop, 6/6. Fanfare, deal 6 damage to all enemy followers. Give all allied followers on the field +2/+4. This is a weird card because it's 8 mana, which is really late. And when we think about some of the boards we've seen that are 8 mana, 8 play points. If Super Evolve is not in the picture, this is really good, right? Because it clears most boards that we've seen. If they play Amalia and they don't evolve or Super Evolve it, you full clear that board because you kill all the 3/2s and you kill the 6/6 body. The issue, though, of course, is when they evolve or super evolve, and you have to spend your own evolve point or super evolve point and swing into it. The other issue I have is the other effect, the +2/+4. We really have no idea what Haven is doing. We see some amulets, we see some board clears. If this is like an Elena type deck, a board based deck, holy moly, +2/+4 is nuts. But if it's not, I don't think you're getting this +2/+4 effect much. Now, this could be sort of a built-in thing where it's like, hey, we just want this card to be universal and used for almost ever. So, like, we have planned, there's concepts of a plan for a board-based Haven deck, and we just want you to have this card that does everything for Haven. Love that idea if that is the idea. If it's not, the +2/+4 is going to be cute, but you're mostly going to be playing this for the AoE. I do think the AoE is going to be pretty good. I don't know what Haven's doing, though. We've seen another aspect that I forgot to mention about this reveal was we basically found out that we're getting 3 legendaries per class, which is pretty huge. We don't know what the last Haven legendary is going to be. Do we? No, I don't think so. So it could be Elena. Actually could be Elena. We could literally get Elena. So yeah. All right. Last thing. Not last thing, but we're going to explain. This is so complicated. Our video, by the way, we are deep in Shadowverse Worlds Beyond. They are changing Artifact Portal. Artifact Portal is going to be now a Transformers, Gundam type thing. So you're going to be getting these gears. You're going to combine the gears into first forms. You're going to combine the first forms into second forms. And you're going to combine all those forms into Masterwork Artifact. Is that Omega? So, what are the gears? So, here's a card that summons gears, or puts gears in your hand. Artifact Recharge. Add a card of ambition, a gear of ambition, and a gear of remembrance to your hand. Gear of ambition does nothing except to fuse. You can only fuse this. Fuse with artifact amulets. When you fuse this card, transform it into a strike artifact. Gear of remembrance, transform it into a fortify artifact. Strike artifact, 5/1 rush. And then you can fuse this card into artifact cards. Fortify artifact, 3 mana, 1/5 ward. Fuse with other artifacts, and then you fuse, and then you get the other 3, and you fuse those 3 in the Master artifact. 10 drop, 10/10, fanfare, deal 5 damage to all enemy followers, restore 5 defense to your leader, and Storm Ward aura. And then this is I'm fine with being wrong about this, so I'm just gonna say my opinion. I think this sucks. I think this is awful. This is just too much. Too much. This is too much. And you're not even getting a good payoff. You're getting a 10 mana 10/10. I don't know. Medusa's coming down. If you don't kill it, she wins the game on 8. I don't think you're getting to 10 much. And the card doesn't even not that I necessarily want cards to just come down and go oh, I win the game. If this was just Infatuated Seraph, right? I wouldn't want that. But I don't know. So let's break it down a little bit. We're going to break it down a little bit. So, where's the chart? So, gears. Okay. So you need 4 gears, right? Because you need to go, no. You need way more than 4 gears. Hold on. So you go, so you get, how many gears do you need? 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on. 1, 2, 2, 4, 6, 8. You need a lot of gears. I don't know. You need a crap ton of gears. And also the cards are not good. These cards that you play down are not good. 5 mana, 3/5 at the end of your turn, restore 3 defense to your leader. No. The end of your turn, this one's okay. 5 mana, 4/4, deal 3 damage at the end of your turn. That one's okay. Ominous artifact, 3 damage AoE, sure, I guess. I don't know, man. Sorry, artifact enjoyers. I'm not an artifact enjoyer. I thought artifact was a really... We'll save that for another day. I don't like artifacts, but I don't know. I don't know, man. I like the change, but I don't think it's a good enough change. Then we have this card. People are misreading this card. You cannot play this card with the 10 cost, so it's like 2 artifact followers in your hand that cost 5 or less. Summon an exact copy of each and give the exact copies at the end of your opponent's turn. Destroy this card. You cannot cheat out the 10 costs. That'd be kind of funny, but you cannot. Now, who's to say you can't, right? Who's to say you won't be able to? But I wouldn't expect to be able to do that. So yeah, artifact. So that's pretty much it. Let's see if let me wrap up. I know this is a super long video. I think there was one more thing I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, so there is a trailer for the set. Let me see if I can find this. There's a couple interesting things to see, to note. And that is where is this? Whatever. Anyway, I'm not going to analyze it anyway, but there's a couple cards in there that are oh, yeah, we didn't see that. Skull Fate. Oh, that's the other Haven Legendary. That's right. Skull Fate is the other Haven Legendary. Probably, unless it's gold. We saw Luminous Knight, which we kind of knew because we saw Luminous Lancer. And then we saw Ralmia, who's a portal card. So that's going to be the last portal legendary. And then I'm just going to the card, the full, all the cards that have been revealed so far. And then what else did we see that we hadn't been revealed yet? Magna Legacy, which is you know, I don't know. I don't think there were many Magna Legacy fans. But you know, I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm very excited for the game. Very excited for the game. Outside of those two things that I talked about that were like about, I'm very excited for the game. We're very close. We're very close. If you enjoyed this super long video, stay tuned for an even longer video, June 16th on the card review, because we're going to be going through every card pretty fast. I want to try to get it out as fast as possible. And we're going to be doing some deck builds, some budget deck builds, and then, of course, some real deck builds. Not to say a budget deck isn't real, but a fully, you know, you have access to every card type deck builds. And then over the course of the next few days, we're going to be getting those class videos up some more. Thank you guys so much for like watching the videos. I do want to, you know, if you stuck through this whole video, like, you know, you're a beast. But I really want to say I appreciate, you know, we're like at 80 subscribers, which is nuts, and we're getting so many views on these videos, which is really cool. I'm super happy to see also the discussion in the comments and people saying, "Hey, I'm new to this game. You know, what should I do? What tips and stuff?" Love doing that. If you have any questions, I will obviously answer them to the best of my ability. I'm always in the comments, trying to respond to everything. And yeah, let me know what your favorite card that was revealed today was. I think mine is probably the Medusa. No, the Magic Climb. The Magic Climb. The Magic Climb is very cool. The Magic Climb is so well designed. I love the Magic Climb. I say that it's going to be like broken and get nerfed, right? But yeah. All right. Have a good one, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.